Hello everyone and welcome to Movie Review UK. My name's MJ and today we are going to be going through all of the movies that I saw this year and just giving a very brief sentence or two about each of them. So I like collecting my tickets, all of the tickets here, and my local cinema is an Odeon, so most of them are Odeon. And it was also really great to see that after the first time after about 3 or so years, something like that, 2 or 3 years, they actually had the ticket booth open so I could get actual orange card tickets, which I much prefer to the just receipt tickets, which just I really don't like. But in any case, let's just go through and see what we did. Can't see what the date is, but the first film I saw was A Screen Unseen. Because it's Screen Unseen, it means that the name of the film is not printed on the ticket, but I do have a list of the Screen Unseens that Odeon have done, and I went to every single one. So this must be The Revenant. The Revenant I thought was incredible. I think that Leo's Oscar for it was well deserved. Just a beautifully shot, interesting story with great characters. Next up was The Hateful Eight. Really cool western. Great to get another western from Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino is one of my favourite directors, and it oozed style and oozed great dialogue, and that is what we come to expect from Quentin Tarantino, so I thought it was really good. Next was Screen Unseen again. And this was The Big Short. Big Short, I would actually go as far as to say it's one of my favourite films of the year. I've watched it again on Netflix. I think that the story is intricate but interesting, and all of the characters just made what you could call a fairly boring subject, finance. I work in finance and it can be boring, can be dense, but it made that subject really interesting and really exciting, and it was a very just cool film. I like how it broke the fourth wall. One of my favourites of the year. Next up was Deadpool. Completely what I would want from a Deadpool movie, so I was so satisfied. Ryan Reynolds smashed it out of the park, and it was entertaining, violent and funny. Next up, 999. I enjoyed 999 a fair bit. Not the most mind-blowing or unique film, especially in its genre, but I think the great thing about it is it had a really good cast. Lots of TV actors that pop up in things, and just good to see them on the big screen. Yeah, it's just a fun, good thriller. Next up was Screen Unseen. Not sure what this was. It was Disorder, French movie about a home invasion. Wouldn't be the kind of film I would normally see at all. Wouldn't be anything like it. But I actually enjoyed it to a certain extent. I should mention at this point that most of these movies I've done full-length reviews on, so go on over and check them out. Disorder was certainly one of them, but yeah, I think I look back on it a lot more fondly than I thought about it immediately at that time. Next was London Has Fallen. It's literally just gone on Netflix, so if you want to give it a view, I would highly recommend it. I think Gerard Butler's really entertaining, and the combination of him and Aaron Eckhart is a really nice on-screen chemistry actually, and yeah, just an enjoyable movie. Next up was 10 Cloverfield Lane. Loved that this movie was kind of stealth announced out of nowhere with amazing actors like John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I absolutely love Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and yeah, bloody enjoyable movie, really surprising one. Next up, Batman vs Superman. Overall I enjoyed it, but it was disappointing because it's not where I kind of envisioned the DC Cinematic Universe going, or the DC Entertainment Universe, whatever they call it, going. Just not a very high quality story. I don't put it in the same level of quality as the Marvel movies. Next up was Zootropolis, one of the best animated films of the year, probably one of the best films of the year in general. Really nice message, beautifully shot, and when I say beautifully shot, I mean like directed. It wasn't shot, I suppose, but really nice direction and really good, funny characters. Next up was Screen Unseen. Again, not sure what it was, but I can confirm it was Midnight Special. Definitely disappointed by this film, probably one of my bigger disappointments of the year. It was good, it had some nice overall theming and tone, but I just didn't find it particularly interesting. Another Screen Unseen was the next one, and that was Demolition. This is another one that I think is now available on Netflix. Jake Gyllenhaal being Jake Gyllenhaal, an incredible actor, and he was tremendously good in this, I thought. I think overall the film, I enjoyed it more than a lot of my friends, and it's basically about this guy who's having a bit of a crisis and just quite a unique way of dealing with grief, which I thought was good. Next one was Odeon's Scream Unseen. Funnily enough, this is another film that has literally only just been put on Netflix, and it's Green Room. Green Room really surprised me actually. I wasn't buzzed for it at all when I heard that that's what it might be, because usually with Screen Unseen they release some clues and we find out what it is beforehand. Yeah, I wasn't too buzzed about it, but I actually really enjoyed it. Quite an interesting concept for a movie. A band that gets stuck in a green room basically at a very violent, potentially dangerous club. And the situation they're put in is incredible, and it's absolutely horrifying. It contains one of the most gory scenes I've ever seen. In fact, I wince and it makes me feel bad just thinking about it. Next up was Captain America Civil War. Incredible. My favourite film of the year. I love Marvel. You know, there's lots of... Actually, I'm trying to point out Marvel things. Like, there's massive things there, Marvel. But, yes. But yes, incredible. The action scenes are amazing. The cast is incredible. Just loved it. Next one is another Captain America. Saw it twice. The next one is Screen Unseen, and this one was Everybody Wants Some. The spiritual successor to a film whose name I can't remember. Yep, can't remember, but I did watch it. I did watch the film that it's a spiritual successor to. And I don't know if it's maybe just the order that I watched them in, but I actually preferred this. It's very light on plot or story. It's a very gentle film. It's just got kind of a gentle teenage drama, and it's just very enjoyable. Good characters and just enjoyable. Gentle and enjoyable. Next up was X-Men Apocalypse. Thought it was good for the most part. Quite enjoyed it. Olivia Munn, who I love. Bad Neighbours 2, quite a funny sequel. Not much else to say. Ninja Turtles 2. Disappointing because I actually really liked the first Turtles film, and this one just it kind of amped up the childishness. I think the first one was quite good in tone. It was a mixture of decent action, decent comedy, and it didn't feel particularly juniorised. I think this one definitely seemed to appeal more to children. It was a bit more childish, and I think they tried putting too much in a lot of ways. Next up was Warcraft. Absolutely loved Warcraft. Cannot get my head around, and it actually angers me that it received such negative reviews, or so many negative reviews. I thought it was tremendous. I loved the bright, vivid magic, and the world was just amazing. And it was a very unique story. I've not seen a story like that before, with the different viewpoints from the different sides, not being black and white at all. It was very grey. Really enjoyed it. I really hope it gets a sequel. Next up was The Conjuring 2. Love it. Brilliant. James Wan is my favourite horror director, and I was so thrilled that this movie was... I'd actually say it was better than the first Conjuring. I loved the first Conjuring. And with horror films, so often they fall apart in the ending. I thought the ending for The Conjuring 2 was very strong. Really enjoyed it. Great setting as well. It was nice to see these characters, these brilliant characters that were developed in The Conjuring, in a setting that is the United Kingdom, where I live. Independence Day Resurgence, pretty bad. Thought it was boring, crap, not great. Ghostbusters, absolutely furious that it's got such negative reviews. Do not get it at all. There's a lot of criticisms about all the male characters being stupid, and I just think that's boring. Like, didn't pick up on that, and I don't even care if it's true or not. I don't know why that matters. I thought that the women, the 4 Ghostbusters, had good chemistry, and they all brought something different to the table, particularly Kate McKinnon. I thought was really funny, and the visual design was amazing. Really disappointed that it got so badly panned. Star Trek Beyond, I thought this was a really great Star Trek film actually. Preferred it to the last Star Trek movie, and yeah, just pretty solid blockbuster. Jason Bourne, interesting memories of Jason Bourne, because when I saw it at the cinema, I started to feel very sick basically. I thought I was going to vomit, which was annoying because it was quite a busy cinema and I was not on the aisle, which I normally am, so I could have made a swift exit. If I was sitting on the aisle, would I have left? I might have held on. When I did get home, I did actually vomit, but I was feeling really bad for the last 25 minutes of the film. I was sweating, I was hot. But about the film itself, didn't like it. Thought it was a rehash of the other Jason Bourne films, which are all brilliant. They were really good, solid spy films. But this was, like I say, a complete rehash and just boring. Been there, done that. Next up, Finding Dory. I was probably not going to see this actually, but then I changed my mind and decided to see it because Pixar, you know, don't really do bad films, I don't feel, in my opinion. The reason I was sceptical about this is because Dory is my least favourite character from Finding Nemo. I really hate, and in fact I want to do a video about this subject soon, but I hate easy, stupid comedy in animated films. Things like Madagascar, how it's all like funny faces, funny noises, funny voices. There are elements of that in Shrek. I do appreciate that Shrek is a much more superior film to Madagascar, but Madagascar's so easy. Oh, I really hate that kind of thing. So Dory forgetting everything the whole time just annoyed me in Finding Nemo, which is why I was not going to see it, but then in the end I did, and I'm really glad I did actually. I thought that baby Dory was really cute, and I think actually her personality was toned down massively for the sequel, so yeah, I thought it was quite good. The next one was Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad I think had some amazing features, such as Harley Quinn was just absolutely perfect, and she really did actually capture the entire world's attention. Some other really good characters, like I thought actually Deadshot was actually pretty cool in it, but overall it just had too much cliche and too much just generical classic bad superhero stuff, like the Cara Delevingne's character waving her hands around and there being a massive beam in the sky as the finalitical thing was just cliched. We've been there, we've done that before, and I wasn't expecting it in a movie such as Suicide Squad, which focuses on street level villains. I wasn't expecting them having to battle a big laser beam in the sky. Disappointing, but with some good moments, like Harley Quinn. I'm very thankful that Suicide Squad has brought Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn to the world. Next up was Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Pretty solid, pretty funny, marginally better than I was expecting. Teen romp comedy. I think the cast is tremendous. Aubrey Plaza is brilliant, I really like her. Anna Kendrick's great. And oh, I hate forgetting the names of people, but the guy who's in Modern Family, who was also in this, really good comedy actor, very much enjoying him. And Zac Efron is hilarious. I'm glad that Zac Efron's moved into the comedy genre. I think he's a great fit for it. The Shallows was next. Loved The Shallows. Yeah, just really ridiculous. A really ridiculous film. The fact that a terrifying concept was stretched out over 2 hours, or an hour and a half. But I did really like it. Blake Lively in a bikini for 90 minutes is no bad thing. And it's got some really tense, really interesting moments. Yeah, thought it was good. David Brent, Life on the Road. Pretty disappointing. Massive fan of The Office, I watch it all the time, and his character was just, for me, too changed. Lights Out, a bloody brilliant horror movie, really great, unique concept that I've not seen before, and very scary, very good film. War Dogs, one of my favourite films of the year. I think this was horrendously underrated. It did, as far as I'm aware, it didn't do very well at the box office anywhere. And I'm stunned to hear that, because I think this is actually Todd Phillips' best film. It's a Todd Phillips film, but it's not like a gross out comedy like Road Trip. It is a much more, not to say intelligent makes me sound a bit pretentious, but it is a much more adult film, and Miles Teller and Jonah Hill are both fantastic in it. Really, really, really solid. Sausage Party, thought it was hilarious, gross, funny. I think in the screening that I saw, pretty much the whole cinema were crying at the end. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Scream Unseen, this was the Blair Witch Project, or Blair Witch, I think it was called. Yeah, I liked it, I thought it was good. For me, didn't really do anything new, didn't really do anything interesting, but I liked that it was a sequel to the originals and kept the timeline, so it was 20 years later. Don't Breathe, one of my favourite films of the year, really surprised me a fair bit. Like, I had heard good reviews, and I was looking forward to it, but it surprised me with how good it was. I loved the concept of it, you know, people trapped in a room with a blind guy, not a room, that would be a shorter film. People trapped in a house with a blind guy, doesn't sound much better actually, but yeah, it's just great. Great cast as well. I think Logan Lerman is awesome, and oh man, really, really good film. Next up, I can barely see this ticket, it's Bad Moms. I think this was recommended to me by David Goss. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, great actresses in there, or actors, however you'd like to cool female women acting people. They were very funny, great chemistry. Mila Kunis is very funny, and I think she's a great leading woman, and yeah, it was just a really good film. The next one was Kubo and the Two Strings. Heard some really good things about this. The animation style is beautiful, it's got a really nice story, and really great action scenes. Very impressive animated movie. Screen Unseen. This time was War on Everyone, probably one of the less good films I've seen of the year. Very obscure and niche. Some funny moments and an interesting cast. Next up, Hell or High Water. Brilliant. This is probably actually again one of the best films I've seen this year. The cast is amazing. Chris Pine and Ben Foster. Really good chemistry, and a very classic kind of modern western. Really good. The Magnificent Seven, really solid western. Thought it was good. Don't have much more to say about it myself. Another Screen Unseen. This one was I, Daniel Blake. I actually filmed a review for this and haven't uploaded it yet. I probably will one day. But I didn't... I thought it had some really touching scenes, like particularly the scene at the food bank. But for me, a lot of the acting was too much for me to get on with. And when I say too much, I mean too little. The Accountant, I thought was really good, really strong thriller. Ben Affleck as leading man is amazing, and I think that John Bernthal or Berthnall, can never remember which way around the F is. The F, it's not got an F, the TH in the end. He's tremendous in any role that he gets. So yeah, I really like The Accountant. Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. Didn't think it was good as the first one, was quite disappointed actually, thought it was a bit of a cool by the numbers thriller. Doctor Strange was amazing, one of my favourite films of the year. Visually stunning, loved the introduction to the magical world in the Marvel Universe, kind of separate from the Thor side of magic. Yeah, really superb. Next up was Odeon's Screen Unseen. This was Arrival, another one of my favourite films of the year. Incredible, great take on the genre, kind of a drama, alien, amazing, epic, great moments, and probably not a kind of ending that a lot of people expected. Not the kind of film that a lot of people have expected, particularly if you watch the trailer. But I loved it, and a really good cast. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Thought it was a really solid film. Good entry in the Harry Potter universe, and nice to get back into that universe. Another Screen Unseen. This was A Monster Calls. Very touching movie. Made me sob at the end. Great way of viewing a child and how they deal with the loss of a loved one. And yeah, just a very different and unique film. Office Christmas Party, I thought was funny. Not much more to say. Good cast, but yeah, good cast, funny. I like it when Jennifer Aniston is in comedical roles. Penultimate one is Screen Unseen. This was Manchester by the Sea. I thought it was really good. I thought Casey Affleck was tremendous in it. Interesting story, and there's a crucial plot point or story point halfway through the film. And that informs a lot of it. And again, it's another film about dealing with grief, and another interesting take on it, so I really enjoyed it. And then the last film of the year was Rogue One, which I thought was a tremendous film. Very good, very enjoyable, great directing, great action scenes, and a cool story. So thank you very much for watching my kind of wrap-up review look through the year in films. Hope that you enjoyed it, guys. If you're new around here and you've lasted this long, bloody well might as well just subscribe. So thanks again for watching, everyone, and have a good 2017.